Welcome everyone to the 9.18 test server. Today I'm going to show you all the new HD vehicles, that being the new light tanks as well as all the SPGs and light tanks mostly that are now in HD quality. As we watch these HD tanks scroll by, allow me to tell you a little bit more about some of the features being added to the game. Now the test server changelog might actually be able to tell you what's in this update better than I can. So if you have any questions, go over there and check that out. There'll be a link in the video description for that, which will be at the same link as where you can download the test server if you want to give this a try yourself. But in the interest of saving you some time reading over all those changelogs, I'm going to quickly tell you all the important stuff here. So there are what I'll call three big groups of changes that are coming with this update. So they all kind of correlate with each other a little bit, so try to follow along. But we have the improved matchmaker, the RD rebalance, and light tanks that now reach to tier 10. So let's start with the improved matchmaker. No longer are you going to be, for example, the only tier 8 in a tier 10 game. Now if there's a tier 10 match and you're a tier 8 in that match, there's going to be, let's say, 3 tier 10s, 5 tier 9s, and the rest all tier 8s. So you're not going to be fighting all tier 10s anymore, which is really great, and of course that corresponds with all the other tiers as well. It is also possible to have matches that stretch across only one tier or two tiers. For example, all tier 10s or all tier 9s and 10s. But you'll no longer be a lone lowest tier in a match. Matchmaker is now also going to try to rotate you through where you've been on the list. So for example, if you've been playing as a tier 8 in a tier 10 match for the last 4 games in a row, then Matchmaker is going to try to get you to be the top tier tank in one of your next battles. Matchmaker is now also going to have a better map rotation, which means if you play 10 battles in a night, you're not going to feel like you're stuck on the same 3 maps over and over again. Which I think is something that a lot of people, including myself, have really wanted in the game for a long time. And based on the way it calculates this, I'm sure it's not going to be absolutely perfect. You're still going to see the same map occasionally, but it should be a lot better. Also now there's a limit of 3 artillery pieces per team in every match, as opposed to the 5 that it was previously. And fail platoons are no longer going to be a thing. It's now going to be impossible for you to bring a low tier vehicle with your high tier vehicle in the same platoon. Now moving on to the second group of changes, artillery was hit with a massive rebalance this time too. A lot of people are calling it a nerf, a lot of people aren't calling it a nerf at all, but I'm going to stick with rebalance. I think that's the best term for this. So artillery's damage per shot has definitely been reduced a lot, as well as its penetration. It's now almost impossible for you to penetrate a target. That being said, if you drive a tank that has 1mm of armor, good luck. But now if you do manage to hit or splash an enemy tank with your artillery piece, the enemy tank is going to have its crew's efficiency reduced for a period of time. Now if you yourself are absolutely horrified about being hit by artillery now and having this effect put on you, then fear not. First aid kits are going to be able to undo this effect, and first aid kits are also now going to be reusable multiple times in one match. They just have a cooldown timer, and after that cooldown timer is finished, you'll be able to use them again. If you're worried about your artillery piece not being able to do any damage anymore, well, it's still going to be able to do damage, probably not quite as much, but it's going to be just as fun to play because you're going to have a larger splash radius, an increased rate of fire, better accuracy, and you're going to be able to stun enemy vehicles that you hit or splash. And a new feature that I really like, artillery can now mark the ground around the targets they're going to shoot at, so now you can warn your allies with a marker that they can see where your shell is going to be aimed at, so that they can get out of the way. So now moving on to the third group of big changes, which is light tanks now stretch up to tier 10. This means that they're going to get the same kind of matchmaker as any other tank does, so you're going to have tier 8 light tanks matched up with tier 8 heavies and tier 8 mediums and you name it. And with the exception of the Chinese light tank line, all the other light tank lines are going to have the current tier 8s moved up to the tier 9 position. If you're wondering what's going to happen to your light tank here after the update, then go over to the World of Tanks website. There's a link in the video description to this page that I got this information from, and check it out. It'll tell you what's going to happen with your modules, experience, crew, emblems, and camo that you have on light tanks right now. Also something I forgot to mention, all the SPGs are now going to have their personal missions reworked due to the new characteristics. And just because you're wondering this too, no, light tanks aren't going to have their missions changed at all. Anyway, that's all I've got for you, so enjoy the rest of the HD tank scrolling by, and I will see you later.